October we go on tour with Framing Hanley, who are like my favourite band.
What? That's gonna be so cool for you. You know, to go on tour with one of your favourite bands is pretty cool.
Yeah, I have the band tattoo to prove it. So
can we have a look? Come on.
Yeah, you know what? This is a really long story, and I'm not sure if we've got time for it, but I'll tell you another time. It was embarrassing anyway.
I can't find my place upon the earth, swallowing my pride amongst the doubt and other things, but that don't make me any less a man. That don't make me any less than you. If you're listening, take this chance to tell you I'm sorry, but that don't mean a thing. So I don't get hurt when I'm bleeding. No, I can't feel a thing. When I know that our hearts are beating, but breaking inside.
You're right.
All right, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. It's awesome to meet you.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, no, I've not done one of these for a minute, so.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Alex Alicia, and today, right now on Zoom, I am joined by singer, songwriter, and blues rock and roller, Mr. ASHLEY SHERLOCK. Hello.
Hello, yeah, thank you for having me.
My pleasure. It's so awesome to have you. How have you been getting on? How are things?
Well, you know that I like to live in.
Good. I mean, we've finished our second EP, which kind of within the confines of lockdown, we kind of had to do that, you know. So it's a bit of it strange, kind of doing it this way. It's taking a little bit longer than we thought. But other than that, nothing much really. You know, trying to just get everything planned and get everything sorted in terms of merch for our shows going back, you see. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I know. I'm very excited to hopefully come catch you live, because you are from Manchester. I'm from Barnsley, so we're quite close by, Northerners, love it. Yeah, hopefully looking forward to coming to catch you live, because like I did tell you, I heard of you via Instagram. What a powerful tool. I saw a video of you performing, I think in a live acoustic setting. You're like on a stool with an acoustic guitar, and I thought, this is incredible, and I had to check you out, and now here we are, and I've been playing you on the show.
That's really cool. I did not know that.
Oh right, I thought I told you, but yeah, that's how I heard about you. But the powers of social media.
No. Instagram, right?
Yeah, so just kind of going back to, I guess, your roots in music, I was curious as to why you fell in love with music in the first place and what it really means to you. So, why music for you?
I've never been asked that one before. It's a good one. I think I from like an early age, I kind of always figured that I don't know, like you hear things, and I was kind of like listening to a lot of older stuff. Well, for like a 4-year-old, listening to like Mark Knopfler was kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know, just kind of fell in love with the melodies of that kind of music, you know. So it's weird. So you kind of just pick up on things, and then, you know, I wasn't really very good at anything else, and music it just kind of never seemed like a chore, you know, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Something to do. You know, you kind of get around the basics of playing, and then you play for fun, and then that's kind of how I got into it, really.
Yeah, I mean, guitar as well is a big part of you when you're performing. And you know, do you remember the first time you ever picked up a guitar and how that made you feel?
Yeah, no, I remember it well. It was my auntie who gifted me and my cousin these like little classical guitars, and we were at my nana's house at the time, and my dad and my uncle were playing on them because they could play. And I remember being, this is my present, like, let me play on it, you know. Then I was banging around and then trying to make some noise, and from there, Yeah, but then I kind of stopped for a little while. I kind of went into like a bit of a singer-songwriter kind of thing when I was about 17, 16, 17. So I'd not really played electric at all. So when people ask me how long I've been playing, it's like, well, it's two different answers really, you know, because I had to relearn everything again. Yeah, I always wanted to be in a rock band. So
like where you're at now with like music stuff, do you see that that's like the place you've kind of always wanted to be? You're like kind of content in your space right now, what you're creating?
Yeah, it's weird. I always, you know, I always kind of felt kind of trying to, I was a little bit, I took a little bit longer than kind of developing my vibe and sound, I guess, than most people. I was so torn between, do I do this or do I do that? And it wasn't necessarily in terms of like a career or slash like money, you know, like, oh, what would make more money, you know, being a singer-songwriter or being a rock star or whatever, you know, it was never like that. But I kind of spent so much time on my own being a singer-songwriter that I just couldn't be bothered with the hassle of a band, you know, like, because then you gotta like have everybody turn up to rehearsals, and then it's like in for rehearsal space and all that kind of crap. So I got offered a gig, and this guy said, right, if you can get a band, I'll put you on the main stage. Now to me that was the best thing ever, right? So I got a band together, and we rehearsed like every day, all day, every day, just for the show. And they ended up sticking around, so that's kind of how I got there. But yeah, like early on, it was a really strange kind of path. You know, I kind of feel like what we're doing now is I'm kind of writing stuff that I've always wanted to write, and you know, try and be honest. You know, not trying to write anything for a specific purpose other than to just as a release. You know.
I can definitely feel that vibe from your EP, because of course you sent me very kindly. It's called If You're Listening, and it is out July 9. We'll get talking about it in a bit more detail, but I absolutely loved it, Ashley. I thought it was amazing. It's really up my street, and I think I just touch on that blues rock element and kind of like just give you this random quote, and I just wondered what your take and opinion would be on it. But I watch American Idol. This is so random. I watch American Idol. I don't know if you ever watched it, checked it out.
No, not really.
Well, Lionel Richie is a judge on American Idol, and there's this guy came in a couple of seasons ago, and he wanted to be a singer-songwriter, and he was a bit of a blues guy, and he kind of sat there and was performing, and I thought it was so cool. Like Lionel Richie gave him a bit of advice and said, B.B. King once said to him, you can't sing the blues from the back of a limousine. And I thought that is such a cool philosophy. So I just wondered, for you as a blues artist, what's your take on that? You know, you can't sing the blues from the back of a limousine. You know, it's like kind of saying you've got to have these like themes and like paths like affecting your life that kind of give you that, you know, that gruff kind of vibe. Like, what's your take on that?
I do agree with that, because obviously the blues, it stems back like hundreds of years.
Yeah.
If you kind of take a look at why it started, you can't, you know, you have to kind of, it's like I don't know how to describe it.
You can go down a rabbit hole, can't you?
yeah. So I agree with that. It's like Jimi Hendrix said, you know, it's easy to play but hard to feel, you know. But I don't like I say, but for me, I just kind of write songs. None of them are happy, you know. But it's just, you know, that's it's part of the genre, I guess, to kind of just play from the heart. You know, you feel it. You know, you don't, like I said, you're not trying to, you know, just because you can play guitar doesn't mean you can play the blues, if that makes sense. You know.
Sure. Yeah.
But then again, like we take a pinch of blues and then a bit of country and then, you know, Americana. We kind of mix it up a little bit. So.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that will tell you, you know, like, you know, you can't just, you know, play like a 1-4-5 progression and just sing. Like there's people I know that are just singing, oh my woman left me in this, and it's like, it's just, what do they know about, you know, the people that, there's nothing worse than somebody, especially in the UK, who sings about things like whiskey and dirt roads and stuff that they don't know anything about, and it winds me up, you know. Where if you go to the States, obviously that's a thing, but
yeah,
you know, I think you just gotta just write and write songs and do you.
Yeah,
that's my best. That's my answer. Sorry, long-winded, but yeah.
actually relates to a question I normally ask everyone at the end, but it is, do you have a motto, a saying, or a quote that you like to live your life by? And I ask everyone that question, but that's kind of along the you've already kind of answered it now, that response.
When this is the last time I cry. Worry, worry, why do you take all my time?
Right, talking about your EP, if you're listening, it's So Cool features 6 tracks. It's coming out on the 9th of July. What are you feeling about this EP? Are you so excited about its release?
You know, it's a weird one. I mean, so obviously the first EP that was in like the infancy of the band. So the songs had been written. We'd not had that much time to kind of jam together. We've since replaced or substituted a drummer. So to have this time now to kind of have him played together, and these songs are coming through where it's less. And the first EP is kind of like, this is the genre. Let's just stick within that, you know, comfortably, but not be, you know, we try and keep it somewhat interesting. And I like that, you know, if it's your own thing. With this EP, we wanted to kind of delve into the Americana side of things a little bit. So not so much all acoustic guitars, but there's a song, Can't Help Myself, which is, it's like really sad if you listen to the words, but then it's just like Americana, proper hillbilly like thing just comes in, and it's like just changes the vibe. So that's, no one's going to expect that, I don't think.
Yeah, it's such a contrast.
And then you got songs like Worry, which are quite deep and dark and quite, it's almost like medieval with the riff. So but the idea was we released a couple of songs and we thought we need to type this body of work. So it was a case of just making 3 more tracks, or taking 3 that we already had and just making it into like one thing, really. So,
yeah, as a collective piece of work. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
I mean, for you, out of all those songs, which one would you feel, I mean, they all must mean something to you personally, but is there one particular track that stands out for you as one that's super personal, that maybe when you come to perform them live, you're going to be like, oh no, I've got to do this song?
The last track on the EP is a song called Invincible. That was the first song I ever wrote. I was 15.
Ever? What? Wow. Okay.
So, and nobody knows this, well, a few friends obviously, but that was written when I found out my granddad was dying of cancer. That kind of, at that period in time, you know, I just wrote that song and I liked it, you know, but I just, you know, there's so many different things I could have done with it, and I did like a little release of it a long time ago, like a different name, and but this time around I think we got it right with the guitars and just like the piano and the way we wanted it, and it sounds, because the intro is completely live till the drums come in, it's just like live, one take. Yeah. We wanted to kind of encompass the like vulnerability of it, and so there was a method to it, but yeah, that song for certain is a meaningful one.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm really sorry to hear that, and I think it's incredible though that you've, you know, been brave enough to put a song that you wrote when you were 15 out, because a lot of people that I have spoken to, when they say they used to write, they were never happy with what they did originally, and then they've evolved as a songwriter over time. But I mean, I've heard the song and it's a beautiful song, so I think you had it nailed even when you were 15, which is pretty cool. Writing songs and themes and stuff for you within your music, how important is creative freedom to you in the writing process? You know, how do you feel about having that freedom to say what you feel to audience members, and then is that scary, that transition to then have to perform it live to people?
That's a good one. I think, but like a kind of what I was touching on before, what you said about that quote, I think it's important to just, you know, music is therapy. You know, you hear, I mean, all my favorite guys, they say the same thing, you know, and you write songs because something happens. You know, I can't write songs about the weather. I'm not really a prolific writer in the respect that, you know, one of my favourite writers and musicians, Martin Knopfler from Dire Straits, you know, you listen to his writing and the songs, what they're about, it's literally nothing to do with him. He's just heard something, or it's like a historical thing.
Yeah.
And it's incredible. I can't do that. Yeah. So it's a case of some songs are a little bit stretched to make the song cool, or well, I say cool, but others are quite literally, you know, like everything is there, you know. And but like I say, you know, like if I can kind of, you know, do something to make somebody feel something, then that's job done, I guess. So
music is an amazing thing for people to lose themselves in, whether it be a happy time or a sad time or whatever time they feel. Music's amazing. But have you had a time, you know, recently, from maybe even like newer bands on the scene, that has kind of like impacted you at any point? Like, do you recall any time where that's happened to you, maybe in recent years, where you're like, oh wow, this has spoken to me, this has, you know, or maybe not. Just curious. You know, we have influences when we're younger. I wonder if anything's spoken to you in like recent years where you're like, that is for me, like I can connect to that, you know, like people with hopefully like your music and whoever else's music.
Yes, I think one of the best pieces of advice I ever got was to listen to your heroes, you know, so you can listen to their influences, and it's something I just never thought about, and it's really obvious. So
yeah,
probably not so much. I mean, you have guys coming out like Tyler Bryant and Marcus King, and those guys are really cool, you know, like making really good music.
Yeah.
A guy called Early James who works with Marcus King on his label or something. Amazing writer. But in terms of, I think just finding back catalogues of stuff is quite interesting, and just kind of to research and kind of put the time in to like learn about, you know, what works and why it works, and if that makes any sense. So I think that's kind of, you know, and in terms of like guitar playing, like I kind of, you know, kind of opened my eyes and just started listening to a lot more stuff like jazz as well, which is something I never would have done. So there's things like that that's kind of like, you know, kind of changed my perspective on things. But yeah, I mean, modern music for me anyway, I mean, unless it's kind of within the blues country vibe, I don't really listen to it, you know. But, bands like the Cadillac Three Brothers Osborne, they're incredible, you know. So bands like that, so
I'm wondering who's like maybe, you know, recently influenced you or anything like that, but yeah, no, that's cool. I've never really thought of that either, you know, to go back and listen to who influenced your influences, like that's so cool. I've never heard that, but I wish I would have still been at uni there to write that one in. I've finished my exams now, so I can't.
It just makes a lot of sense, you know. You can hear people. I mean, I heard someone do a cover of a Son House song, and you go back and listen, and it's just like nearly 100 years old, you know, and it's like, it's incredible, you know, like all those old blues guys, and it just kind of puts everything into perspective in terms of like that blues genre, you know, because everything gets so diluted, and you know, without rock, well, without blues there won't be rock, and so on, you know. But you listen to the real heart of it, then it kind of makes sense, you know.
So, you know, have you got anything on the horizon that you can talk to us about? I know that you've got a show at Spinning Top, haven't you? July.
I can't actually, let me just pull this up, I've got it here. But
Otherwise I'm testing you on the spot here.
Hold on a second.
No worries.
Right, so the first show back is on the 20th, which is in Oldham, which is just it's kind of like a birthday event. I turned 25 in June.
Oh my gosh, we're the same age right now. 24, clever.
I'm still a baby, really. I think. But that sold out real quick, and that was just like, you know, a few friends and family and stuff. And then the Spinning Top. Are you familiar with the Spinning Top?
No, that's so bad, isn't it? Because I'm so not far away from that venue as well.
It's really cool. But Mike was really good to me, kind of as I was coming up, and he just used to let me walk in and just open for somebody, you know. And that, you know, so obviously through the virus and everything, obviously that the bar had suffered, so he wanted to kind of do something to put on, you know, not charge people, and so people, you know, put money behind the bar for drinks or whatever, and we'll put on a show. And we kind of took names down and stuff like that, so that's pretty much sold out.
Yeah.
After that, we've got a couple of dates, and then we go on tour with the Nimmo Brothers, which is really cool. So we're really excited for that. So we're playing like Clitheroe and Milton Keynes and Newbury and stuff.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. And then October, we go on tour with Framing Hanley, who are like my favourite band.
Wow. That's gonna be so cool for you. You know, to go on tour with one of your favourite bands is pretty cool.
Yeah. Which I have the band tattoo to prove it. So.
Can we have a look? Come on.
Yeah, you know what? This is a really long story, and I'm not sure if we've got the time for it, but I'll tell you another time. It was embarrassing anyway.
It's all right. Anybody who wants to check out Ashley's tour dates, where can they find them? On your website?
I'm going to release the poster in like a couple of days.
Brilliant.
25th now, so yeah, tomorrow, the day after, it'll be out.
Well, look forward to it. Right, I've got one final question for you, because it's been such a pleasure chatting. It's just kind of a summarised question, I guess. Do you have a message that you would like to send out to anyone who has supported you, followed your music, you know, being a fan of the show? Have you got anything you want to say to them or let them know?
Yeah, no, well, you know, everyone's been so kind to us, and you know, whether that be promoters or other musicians or people that come and just buy a t-shirt or even just buy a beer and a ticket, you know, it means the world to us all. You know, we can call this a job, and we get to go on. I get to play music with my two best friends. So yes, so thank you for that. Yeah.
I love that. That's a really lovely message, Ashley. Well, I want to say thank you so much for chatting to me. It's been lovely catching up and getting to know everything you've got going on.
Awesome. Right. Well, yeah, thank you for having me.
No worries. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Have a nice meeting, and I will catch you hopefully soon. Goodbye.
See you later. Bye-bye.
If you're listening